Something new and fascinating has sprung up from the bustling world of the Permian Basin. West Texas now has cafeology. What is cafeology, you might ask? I believe the better question is, who brings this cafeology into Midland, Texas? Come with me as I explore the story, mission, and passion of coffee artisan Isan Korjani and the culture and community he's built.
Well, walk me through what you are doing.
Okay, so we're gonna walk through a little bit of like what happens behind the scene today.
Yeah, okay.
Because one thing is that we're trying to establish here as far as the creating that culture around coffee and conversation and community is the fact that we want to have people involved in the whole process. So that's why we have a roastery in a glass where people can see and watch the whole process. Sometimes we have people that they come in and ask questions, and we are actually planning to have some roasting classes and some coffee classes, so people can come actually and be a part of the whole process. And
Be a nice day.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
That's a cool experience.
But for us that we're running the show, it's not always that easy because the whole process of finding, the green bean, bringing it to United States, first of all, getting to know the foreigners that they actually are supported.
So where are these coming from?
So these
right
coffees are coming from different countries. So the ones that we're gonna roast today is from Guatemala.
Okay.
And so many people are behind this coffee that we're gonna roast today. And then people sometimes come and, when you get a cup of coffee next time at Capiology or anywhere, as a matter of fact, then the whole process behind the coffee is not just, hey, coffee grows brown and then we bring it here and we use it. So actually, this is the color of the coffee. It's green, as you can see.
Right.
And
that's the first big.
What does it smell like?
Not like coffee.
Not at all. It smells very earthy and grassy.
I was gonna say it smells like something on a salad.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can. That's actually could be something that we can look into. Probably have coffee salad. I don't know.
Coffee salad.
Things already start with ideas.
So what goes into this machine here?
So
what is this machine?
So this machine, yes, that's a great question. This machine is a P12 series from Probat company, which is a German company. So it can roast up to 25 pounds every load. So each load usually takes us about 10 to 12 minutes to finish the whole process. Yes. And then sometimes when we roast, depending on how busy we are, because one thing that we don't want to do is to have coffee sitting on shelf, and which the shelf life is a part of the whole process. And but we want to make sure that the coffee that we use here is as fresh as possible. That's the whole goal, that we have the roaster here. We're not purchasing, we're not buying our coffee from anywhere. So as you can see, everything happens here. All we do is we bring the green coffee from 7 different countries, from Guatemala, from Kenya, Sumatra, which is Indonesia, Brazil, which we're going to hit a little wall probably with tariffs and all that, but that's another conversation for another time. But we're still hoping that makes it
sensitive.
Oh, yes. It's the second commodity in the world after oil. And a lot of people don't know that. And when you think about it, like, we are living in Permian Basin where oil is everything.
Yes.
And now I jumped into the second commodity
That's awesome.
in the world in Permian Basin, which is coffee. So it's a fun thing to do, and it's fun to be a part of this whole process. But so we bring the bean over here into this room, and then we run a few quality checks, and then as soon as our roaster is ready, we fill it, we charge it with our coffee, and then once we start doing that, we can talk about the whole process.
Yeah. That sounds like a plan.
Okay. Great. Let me run this really quick. It will take me about 2 minutes.
So, how many years have you been doing this? Coffee specifically?
Yes.
Roasting?
I am in coffee industry for about 20 years. I got to know about coffee and making coffee, behind the counter, customer service and all that when I was 16 years old. Wow. And it just happened organically. There was a coffee shop in our town, little town in Iran that I grew up, called Qom, just 60 miles away from the capital city, Tehran. And it was a little coffee shop that I used to go after school and hang out with friends and do a little bit of study there. So gradually became friends with the owner. And one evening, the manager approached to the owner and said, I'm not going to open this coffee shop tomorrow unless you raise my salary. And, it's one of those decisions that you make in your life and you have no idea what, God is planning for your future. And then I was like, you know what? I'll open it tomorrow. And I remember the face, the face that the owner made and looked at me, and he was shocked and surprised. He was like, wait a second. You really think that you can open tomorrow? I was like, well, we'll give it a shot. Do you have another option? He said, no. I said, okay, I'll be here tomorrow morning. So I opened the coffee shop for a week, and it was his wedding actually in 2 weeks. So he had no options rather than,
Did you even know how to make coffee?
I didn't know. It's so funny to know that I used to hang out there and I didn't even like the flavor and taste of coffee. So yeah, my drink was, they had this refreshers that I used to go and get, and one of them was made out of saffron that hopefully we'll add that to our menu here.
Awesome.
But yes, it was a Middle Eastern drink that I really love to drink, and coffee was not even a thing that I would choose off of the menu.
Okay,
Not
so
knowing 20 years later, I'm standing in a roaster.
You love coffee now.
Oh, yeah.
You better love it.
I love it.
You're knee deep into it.
Oh, yeah. I love coffee, and I can drink coffee nonstop.
Okay, so now I'm curious. It's your first day. You're opening up. You have a clue. You don't even like coffee. Someone comes up and orders a cup of coffee. Well, what do you do?
Well, there was a guy that worked there, and he was the barista, so he was making the coffee. My job was to make sure that everything behind the scene is, running.
You were running the business side.
Yeah.
And this barista was probably older than you.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, he was. He was. And you can imagine how humbling it is for someone like him. And I'm so grateful for his patience with me because, 16 years old, jump behind the counter and you're like, okay, so this is the game plan for today. You can't imagine how hard it is for him to be like, wait a second, who do you think? You don't even drink coffee.
Yeah.
So no, he was gracious enough.
There you
16
go.
years old.
Has your voice even dropped yet?
Yeah, I had a husky voice there. We'll talk about that later.
Wow. But obviously he was with the program and he helped you out and you helped him out. And
yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah, we did work together for about 2-3 weeks until he came back from his honeymoon, and then he asked me, actually he told me, he said, why don't you just go and have your own life? I was like, no, I'm going to talk to my school so I can do school in the evening and I can open this one in the morning. So that's what I did for about a year, and not knowing that in about 9 months, he wanted to actually move to his dad's career, which he was a real estate agent. And so he came to me and said, hey, I actually am thinking about moving to another, job and another field. What do you think? I have some customers that they want to buy this coffee shop.
Wow.
And I said, well, that's great. I don't have money and I'm 17 years old. What do you expect?
Yeah, I have no money.
Yeah. And so, but he was gracious enough to actually take that chance on me and give me a shot. And he said, you know what? you take it, you pay me however you want. And
That's
I
awesome.
I was very encouraged and humbled by that. And that was probably the first time that I felt, I worth something and I can do it. It's like those moments that everybody needs in their lives that, hey, there's a purpose behind me. So
How many 17-year-olds are business owners?
yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that gave me that sense of purpose that I needed to have when I was 17 years old.
Man.
Yeah.
So switching gears on you. So this is a pour over coffee. Explain to everyone why this is amazing, because you changed my world with this pour over coffee. So what is the difference between a drip coffee that most people are used to drinking and a pour over coffee?
So the pour over coffee that we make here, as you can tell from the name, is pour over. So we do the whole process by hand. There is science behind, the ratio that you use as far as the water to coffee and the grind, and all of that.
That makes a big difference.
Yes. But then also you can kind of like move towards having more equipments. But one thing that it's a big part of our identity at Caffeology is to create, again, that culture of coffee and conversation. So I could have another machine making this, but what about that conversation that somebody's going to sit down, by the counter and talk to one of the baristas or one of the workers behind the counter?
Yeah.
So because of that, we kind of like taking, some of this stuff, we're taking step back and using, hand methods to make sure that it's not just the coffee that you're drinking. Yeah. It's actually the conversation that makes the experience unique. So I can tell you that I can guarantee there are coffees in the world way better than Caffeology's coffee.
Okay.
Way better. But there's one thing that is in our identity, and we love it, and we're so proud of it, that every customer leaves this space with a smile. We take time to encourage people. Coffee is a reason to have that conversation, to create and build that bridge so we can talk to each other.
Yeah, they're literally
That's why you like the coffee.
Well, they're sitting there and you're pouring everything out, and there's the, I mean, it's like you got to have a 10-minute.
Yeah, we scale out every coffee. We want to make sure that our staff are trained. We want to make sure that every cup of coffee that you get is poured perfectly by hand by one of our baristas, and make sure that they're exactly the same. So next time you come, you get the exact same coffee. We have different beans, as I said. We have different single origins that you can choose which one to drink. We have anything from light roast, medium to dark. And depending on what your preferences are, we offer you to go with, a single origin. So the one that you're drinking is from Kenya, right?
So I can notice different hints in the pour over coffee.
Isn't that crazy? Whenever you start drinking coffee,
and the colder this gets, it doesn't lose its taste. It actually gets better.
For a lot of coffee drinkers, that's the turning point. You have no idea how many conversations I have every day that people come here and they drink coffee and they're like, "Oh, this is actually the first time in my life that I can tell that there is this fruit, or I can, differentiate between flavors in the coffee.
Yes.
It's not just a cup of black coffee to get the caffeine and go."
Yeah.
This
is not fast food coffee.
It's not. It is not. And we're so proud of it. It is not.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I'm a Black Rifle guy. I mean, Starbucks is there. They're all premium coffees, but at the end of the day, it's still a cookie cutter type of a formula.
Yeah.
This, when you have a pour over coffee, it's like each cup kind of has its own personality.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's all dependent on the process of what you're doing here.
We love to have, we love to be that place that people come here and get something extra. So again, to create that experience for people, how many times have you gone to a restaurant and you go home and you talk about the food, and everybody might come and ask you, what did you like about that restaurant? And you talk about food. I can guarantee 2 weeks down the road, if I ask you about the food, you're going to be like, "Oh, I cannot remember what I ate. Wait a second." But you always remember the waiter or waitresses that
The
are helping
atmosphere,
you.
the
Yeah.
experience.
So
Yes.
that's what we're building here. That's
The
what we're creating.
experience.
Yeah. We sell experience.
I love it.
mean, after all, that's what I tell everybody. They're like, what industry do you work in? I'm like, I'm in entertainment.
There it is.
That's what we're doing.
There
Entertain
it is.
people.
I love
Create
it.
experience.
Yeah, we're not in a product-based economy or even a service-based economy anymore. I think what everyone needs to realize, no matter what industry you're in, the game we all should be playing is experience-based.
Absolutely.
Or even transformation.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to get about your talk about your story on transformation. We'll put a pin on that and
I
circle
love
back.
that.
But okay, so now last question.
Go ahead.
If this was a Sumatra or if this was a Guatemala, how would it be different from the flavors I'm tasting in the Kenya?
So as far as all the notes, taste notes that there are in the coffee, you will absolutely tell.
Because the soils are different?
Well, the soils and the climate is different. The soil is different. The altitude is different. Farmers are different.
Okay.
Seeds are different.
Okay.
The way that the coffee is processed is different. So there's so many little things into it that can change. And also when it comes to our coffee shop or to, as a matter of fact, any roastery, the way that you roast coffee, the way that you grind it, it's so fascinating that you can grind the same coffee with different numbers, some, one finer and one coarser, and it changes everything that you taste. So there is a lot, there is science behind it, but after all,
It's an artisan.
Yeah,
It's an art craft.
It is.
Yeah.
It is an art. Yeah.
Man. So what I'm getting from that is you got to come to Cafeology and you got to try all the different type of pour overs.
Yes, absolutely. And we want, again,
the ones you like.
we want to get to know everybody and we want to introduce ourselves to everybody here and we want to get to know what they're doing and to create that, bridge between people to connect with each other too, not just for us. And you have no idea how many conversations I have behind the counter where I'm making coffee and somebody comes and sits down and I'm like, hey, how's your day going? Hey, by the way, did you meet my friend? And just connect them. And I have testimonies of at least 3 people that they found a job here by just sitting on the counter and talking to another person. And they're like, what do you do? Oh, I'm an engineer. Well, send me a resume. And then
Community.
it's just, that's what
brother.
we're doing.
I
So,
love it.
and we love it. We love it.
Well, talk to me about the roasting.
Okay, so the
Are we,
roasting process.
ready to go?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
I think so. So we are charging to our temperature that we need, which is usually between 350 to 400 degrees for the coffee, for the beans that we're using today, which is Guatemala. So we're just going to run that as soon as it hits the perfect temperature that I want. And then we start roasting.
Love it.
Okay. That's the funnel that would fed the coffee into the whole.
I see it. So the beans are going in.
Yeah. So the roaster that we're using is a drum roast. So you can come over here and see the bin that it's kind of like a washing machine. But
It is.
washing machine actually doesn't bend your clothes, but this one bends the coffee. So actually that's the language that we use sometimes. The first time I remember I started roasting here, my wife didn't know anything about roasting. So I'm like, okay, honey, I'm going to go to the roastery and bend some coffee. She was nervous the whole time. She's like, why do you want to burn the coffee? I was like, no, I mean like not burning, actually like burning the coffee, but firing up and roast the coffee. So that's what it does. It has, open flame underneath that heats up the drum, and then the drum is constantly spinning to make sure that we get.
So you get that nice even roast.
Absolutely.
As it's rotating it.
Yeah, well, the part is that you got to monitor all the time is to make sure that you are having your coffee roasting inside out, because one thing that you don't want is the coffee that is burned outside and it's not developed inside. So we want to make sure that we monitor the whole process. As far as roasting coffee, do you know anything about roasting coffee, or is this your first time?
This is my craft.
Is it okay? This is as close as you could get to the roaster.
Yeah.
So, as far as the coffee roasting goes, there are 3 major phases of roasting. First one is called drying. So, the most, of our 10 to 12 minutes that I told you, it takes to take the moisture out of the coffee. That's why we have to run it through the moisture reader to make sure that we have the perfect moisture before we roast it. So the first part is to get that green bean to a yellow bean, which takes about 5 to 6 minutes to take the water
Get that
out
salad,
of it.
earthly smell out. of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And then so after that, it's the color changing. So the color starts changing, and then what we want is we want to get our coffee into what we call first crack, and that's phase number 3, where it starts, and everything as far as developing happens in that part. So
wow.
did you know that coffee has sugar?
Coffee has sugar in it?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of sugar, actually. It's like the perfect example that I can give you is like onions. I don't know if you cook at home or not.
Yeah.
I love to cook. And one thing that I tried.
I love to smoke.
Really?
Lots of meat.
Okay, let's talk about that. So imagine, how do you cook your steak?
How do I? Well, I'll normally smoke. Well, I'll cook it at 350 to 400, and then about 15 minutes, and then I'll open up the flame and I'll sear it on both sides.
Okay. How long do you do it?
Sear, probably about 30 seconds, and then I'll rotate it.
What would happen to your steak if you do it in 10 seconds in a high heat?
Well, it'll be very like just cook it 10 seconds in a high heat.
In like the highest heat. Highest temperature.
You'll get a burnt sear on one side, and the rest of it obviously will be super rare.
Yeah. Same thing with coffee. The best way that I can explain is with onions. Whenever you try to fry onion, if you have it in low temperature and you let it cook a little bit longer, then you get caramelized onion and it's sweet. Why?
Yeah.
Because onion has sugar.
Oh, that's such a good
But
point.
if you don't do it, and if you burn your onion in like 1 minute on high heat, then you get burnt and it's bitter and it's not enjoyable to eat. So it's the same thing with coffee. We don't want to roast the coffee so fast that burns everything, and then all you have is bitterness. So there are companies that I don't want to even name them.
Okay.
And they're all every corner of every town. And I know that you have the name on your head. Wait for it. Yes, that's it. So that's the name. So there are companies that's all they do because they don't have time. It's mass production. Just get it out of the door and people drink it and they're like, oh, I love it because it's not complex. It's only bitter. And I respect those people. I respect people that they do.
That's fast food coffee.
Yes. But I would also encourage them and invite them to come to Cafeology so then they can drink actually a good cup of coffee here.
There's a big difference. I haven't been able really since I've been drinking pour-over coffees here. The coffee at the house, man.
It doesn't taste good anymore. Well, there are 2 factors into it. So 98% of what you're drinking is what?
Good coffee?
Yeah. 98% of it is what? It's not good coffee. It's good water. So that's the problem.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you make it with Midland water?
No,
Don't do that.
Of course not. No one actually does Midland water.
Some people do. I know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Tap water?
Yeah. So, one thing that we monitor here is our water. So we use our system for the whole water throughout the whole facility. And we monitor actually every chemical that goes inside the water to make sure that we get the perfect cup of coffee. So the main reason that a lot of people, even buying the same coffee, taking it home, and you're like, well, the coffee that I have in the coffee shop actually tastes better than the one that I take home, is because of coffee and because of the experience, of course, but because of the water. That is 98% of what you're drinking. So the water is very important.
Yeah.
So that's one part people miss.
Yeah.
So
On the pour over, you're literally pouring it over.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you are making coffee at home, I would recommend finding the perfect water. Try different water in the house, and so which one
Man,
was
it's the
best.
typical stuff you get off HTTP.
Yeah.
And you run it through hot water, but like most coffee, when you drink it,
Yeah.
you drink it for effect.
Absolutely.
And you drink it while it's hot. And the colder it gets, the worse it starts to taste.
So our coffee is actually changing now. Sorry to interrupt you.
Okay.
The coffee starting to change the color. You want to come
Okay.
over here and see it? So you remember it was green before, right?
Right.
So what color is it now?
Kind of a yellowish.
Okay. Do you want to smell it? It's hot. Don't touch it.
Yeah, wow.
What does
So
it
this
smell now?
is
It
the
doesn't-
first roast, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is the first phase that we're walking through. So our coffee is almost, our bean is almost dry. So now is the part that we're going to get it to first crack to pick up. And that is called browning. So that's when we start browning the coffee until it hits the first crack. So that's the part.
Burning and then you're browning.
Yes.
Love it.
Turning, browning, developing.
Okay.
And then
Yes.
yeah, that's my favorite part.
No, where we're messing up isn't really the water. It's that we should be buying the cafeology coffee.
Yeah.
That's where we're messing up.
Yes. So I try to kind of like monitor everything as far as the coffee goes to make sure that every cup of coffee that we serve and we roast is exactly the same as the other one. The good thing with technology, honestly, is especially with AI now, I know a lot of people are against it, but whether we like it or not, it helps a lot.
So how is AI being integrated into coffee?
Well, as far as like creating recipe here, so AI doesn't create a recipe for me. It might be able to suggest something that I can find, on ChatGPT, OpenAI, or other apps.
Okay.
But what I want is I look at my demographic and I help AI to understand this is my demographic. Are they white, black, Hispanic?
From a business
are they Middle
perspective.
Eastern? Yeah, are they Middle
Okay.
Eastern? So what kind of coffee do they drink? What kind of food do they? It's like you go to India. What do they eat? Spicy food. I cannot eat that
Lots of
spicy.
curries.
Yeah, I cannot eat that level of spicy. Or I was in Thailand, which we'll get into it a little later. I was in Thailand and the spicy food that goes into Thai food, OMG, I cannot stand that. But they can tolerate it. So we are created differently. And that's the beauty of creation, that God had created us in different ways.
Yeah.
That we can tolerate different things. We can tolerate different heat, different temperature. Like we are living in Midland, Texas. Let's be honest, nobody can live in 125 degrees. But we wake up and we run outside.
But it's a dry heat.
Yeah. Yeah, we keep saying that.
Yeah, my girls are actually in cross country. So
Okay. There you go.
they run, they have what's called heat runs where they purposely go run at 3:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, wow. That's a
so
real
they
deal.
can build their endurance.
Gosh, that's a real deal. I'm not doing anything compared to that.
I'm impressed.
That is great.
Yeah.
So this one now, look at the color now.
That's changed.
It is browning now.
Wow.
So you can smell it.
I like that smell.
Yes. So it smells like, my wife says it smells like popcorn.
It does smell like popcorn.
And yes. And it's so funny because the more you stay here and the more we roast, you cannot smell anything else but popcorn.
Oh, wow.
And then you go and drink coffee and you're like, it tastes like popcorn too. And it smells like popcorn. So yeah, we are
Wow.
almost getting ready to pull our coffee out. Again,
And you got 25, you can do up to 25 pounds.
25 pounds
At one time.
at one time. And I can
Wow.
roast 4 loads an hour, which is 100 pounds an hour. So
It's amazing. So you can roast coffee for all the little mom and pop coffee
Yes.
shops here too.
yeah,
Yes.
well,
Okay.
that's the hope. So the goal is the first phase is to introduce ourselves to the community, who we are, and establish the identity as far as, training our staff and everything
Okay.
goes here. But then also to get out. So if you are looking for a specialty coffee in your office, on your house, we would love to take that to the next level and be present in your office or in your house. So we have coffees that you can purchase. They're sitting on our shelf, or in a couple of weeks, actually, we're releasing a proposal to offices here that they can use our coffee in their offices.
Nice.
Yes.
Dude, wish you nothing but success when it comes to this.
Can you
cool.
smell it too?
I can.
The popcorn is
the
popcorn is
Now that you said that,
not
that's all I
success
smell.
anymore.
Popcorn.
Oh man. So now it's turning brown, huh?
Oh,
that's
that's
kind
brown.
of like turning to the color that
It
way.
has a little bit more of a potent smell now.
Okay, so are we ready to get it a little loud here?
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna start. This is
So now
our
it's gonna
this is
come
our
out
cooling
here?
tray. Yes, in about a minute or so. This is our cooling tray. That's where we bring the coffee out. The coffee is still hot. So what we need to make sure is we need to make sure to cool it up as fast as possible because we don't want coffee to cook outside. But yeah, going back to AI, then the other thing that AI does, it helps you on the back end of your business. AI helps you to create that and save it. So then, a machine like this, which is like half semi, automatic, then you can save your roast. And then every time, all you have to do is just monitor, as you could see. I'm standing talking to you, but I'm monitoring that the coffee and the machine is doing its job.
That's amazing.
So
Wow.
then you trust the process and you let it run. AI is actually, it can be helpful, it can be hurtful.
Oh, sure. Without a doubt.
So this part is that's the part that I told you is developing. So I don't know if you can hear the first crack. Can you hear it popping? A little bit. Yeah. So that's the first crack that started. So we drop our temperature because this is the phase that development starts. So everything in phase 1 and in phase 2, we can kind of like play with it. Phase 3, they delegate. So they
Got
have
it.
to be fully here.
You able to get in on this shot, or do you need to move the camera?
You want to bring a camera here maybe while we're taking it out? Then we can have it here.
That way you can catch it. Catch it. This coffee magic.
All righty.
Oh, there it is. Oh, I can definitely hear it popping now. Like popcorn.
So yeah, that's, as you can see,
It's amazing. It was green 12 minutes ago.
and it's not green anymore.
Oh,
And it
man,
doesn't
wow.
taste that bad anymore. I have a confession to make. One time I tried green, I tried beans. They didn't work out. Man, it didn't.
Really sour?
It's not
Bitter?
sour. It's just, it tastes like your dust. But it has, like, I mean, it's something that I try to forget. I don't know why you're trying to, but don't try it. Please do not.
What's this voodoo? Yes.
Yeah. No, I like it like this better.
Oh, man.
I love it.
Now it's neat to see when you get coffee, how you're used to seeing it. This is the process and how
Yes,
it's
that's
made.
the whole process that we do. Well, it's not actually finished yet. So one thing that we do right now is we let this one to cool up for this coffee to sit down for 7 hours to release it and everything.
So it's going to be doing this for how long?
So this is going to do it for like 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
Until this is cold enough. And then we'll put it into the buckets over there and they sit over there for 72 hours. Within the 72 hours, every day we monitor, we run the quality check to make sure that the coffee is perfect. And until we do that, you don't take this coffee on the counter over there. So we make sure that every coffee, every batch that we roast is perfect to customer satisfaction.
Is this safe to touch right now?
It is safe to touch, but watch out for your fingers.
Yep.
Because those blades can get you, but apart from that, yeah. That's it. Smell like popcorn?
No. Not anymore. I think that kind of doesn't even really have a smell to it anymore. Let's see. Are you just straight up eating them?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Have you ever had those coffee beans that they're like covered in chocolate? Have you seen them? You like
That's really good.
Yeah.
I definitely recommend eating them right after you roast it.
Yeah, that maybe actually lead us to something new, an innovation.
There
Let's
you
have
go.
people here and just have some.
Just give them a little bowl. Yeah.
Well, here's the funniest story. There's a funniest story about it's half true, half funny, and half mystery nobody knows. But the way that the coffee was discovered is a shepherd was taking his goats in Ethiopia. He used to take his goats out on the field, and the goats are going crazy. And then so this man is like, okay, what is happening? I have to follow them. And he follows all these goats, and he realizes they're eating this food, that it makes them so happy and jumping, up and down. So I don't know if that story is true or not, but now I guess we're those goats. And we try this coffee, and we do the same thing. We wake up in the morning. First thing we do in the morning is to drink a cup of coffee.
There it
And then
is.
we jump up and
And you
down.
can have a small little bowl of freshly roasted bean.
Yeah, that could be a good idea.
How often do you roast? You something.
How long?
How often?
How often? I usually do it every day. So because again, I want to do
You
it in
guys
the
are
small
selling lots of
batches.
coffee.
Yeah, and I want to do it in small batches. So I don't want to like start roasting it one day, for the week ahead of us, and then just have the coffee sitting there. Again, there's nothing wrong with it because it has a shelf life that it can sit here. But for me, it's a hobby. So I would love to do it. And then also I
They all
have
get to see
customers.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have
Do you do it in the
customers that-
morning or do you do it in the afternoon?
I usually do it in the morning.
Okay.
And again, I have customers that they come here, and that stage that we have over there is because we have customers that we want them to experience this, and we don't want them to miss out.
So they'll sit there talking while they're watching
Yes,
you
absolutely.
roast. That's so cool.
And I love to go and eat from them. So if you come to Capology, I'm gonna talk to you. So
Well, it's like when I enjoy bourbon.
okay,
I love a small batch bourbon. And small batches are obviously at a premium price because they're small batch. And so what you're getting here is premium coffee, small batch coffee every day. And that is really cool. Because you can just roast it here.
Well, you have to monitor and make sure that you have coffee because, as I said, 72 hours. So it's not like, oh, we're running out of coffee. Let's do it.
Yeah, I know. 'Cause whatever you roast
have to
today is
plan
3 days.
3 days
Yeah.
away. And
Yeah.
the good thing is, I don't know if you ever thought about that or not. Well, you didn't know that 3 days that you have to plan for 3 days ahead. It always reminds me of Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
He knew something about 3 days. I don't know if he was roasted in that, where he was, but he waited for 3 days. And honestly, this coffee after 3 days, it resurrects somehow.
It resurrects.
Yeah. Like day 1 and day 2, I have customers that are like, well, what about we just try it now? I'm like, you don't want it. They're like, oh, well, try them. Like, you don't like it. They're like, we're going to try them. I'm like, okay. And I had a customer 2 days ago that he wanted to try it, and he tried it. He didn't talk to me afterwards. He was like, I think I'm going to go home. I was like, you don't feel good, right? He was like, no, it tastes so bad. It has to sit down for 3 days.
Wait for that stone to roll away.
Yeah,
3
well,
days.
because
Wow.
everything is still working. All the chemicals are still developing.
That's
and
amazing.
and you want the coffee to rest. It's like a steak. When you make your steak, you want your steak to rest a little bit. And it's the same thing. I mean, hopefully you don't let your steak to sit for 3.
Yeah, after 12 hours, 10 hours of smoking a brisket, you don't just cut that. You definitely let that rest for a good 30 minutes to an hour.
Absolutely. So
How long did it take you to get this down? I mean, I can imagine there's a learning curve to all of it.
yep.
Was this something that took you months to get,
Well,
years to get? You're still kind of understanding
yes,
it?
the thing is, like in every industry, like everything that you do in your life, they're always learning curves. You start roasting and you learn something new, and then you start roasting and you learn something new. Um, it's something honestly that I am fascinated by in general, how fast the industry is moving and everything that is happening in coffee culture across the world, and especially the leading, country, United States of America. It's like every single day you have to update yourself. If you want to stay in the game, you have to update yourself. So you
Yeah.
cannot. It's not like, hey, I'm just gonna, make a cup of coffee and then you show up. No, there is a big margin of people that they want something new. So you have to always
Believe it.
So there's a lot of things that we have to learn on regular basis, but the base of it started about 7-8 years ago for me
Love it, man.
that I started roasting, and I'm in love with the whole process.
I love it. I think it was Mark Cuban when he owned the Dallas Mavericks. He told his NBA players, one of them asked him a question about business, and he was like, listen, your game starts and stops when you get on and off that court. In business, someone is always trying to take your head off.
Absolutely.
You never stay stagnant. You're always learning. It's a game that's played, but never won. You always earn the right to keep on playing it. And so in the coffee game, you're earning a right to keep playing this game at the highest level. And it's fun to watch the process, man. This was great. Thank you.
Well, I'm so glad you got to experience, and it's always joy to roast and have somebody here so we can connect with each other. And again, coffee is just, a reason for us to get together.
Love it.